as if new scheme is something which we all should fear about.
हेलो एंड वेलकम बैक टू माय यूट्यूब फैमिली। तो आज का वीडियो बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग होने वाला है। जो स्टूडेंट सीए फाइनल में है, सीए इंटरमीडिएट में है, सीए फाउंडेशन में है, तो न्यू स्कीम से रिलेटेड मैं आप लोग को आज पूरा ब्रीफली डिटेल बताऊंगा, क्योंकि सीए वंदना नागपाल मैम जो कि बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर है ICAI के, उनका क्या कहना है न्यू स्कीम से रिलेटेड। तो आप लोग ये वीडियो को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा शेयर करें एंड मेरे इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें, क्योंकि मुझे भी मोटिवेशन मिलेगा। एंड हम लोग अब सुनते हैं सीए वंदना नागपाल मैम को, जो कि बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर है ICAI के, उनका क्या कहना है सीए का न्यू कोर्स से रिलेटेड। तो चलिए हम लोग उनको सुनते हैं।
Know about what all is there in the new scheme. I think the way it has been just talked about, it appears as if new scheme is something which we all should fear about. But I am going to actually remove that particular fallacy and that ambiguity that there is nothing like fear. New is always better, right? Because if new doesn't happen, if change doesn't happen, we will not learn, right? So the new scheme is the right path for all our aspiring chartered accountants, and I know you are going to enjoy it. You are really going to enjoy it. Now I just want to know from you whether shall I give you a brief about the new scheme before you pose questions to me, or you want to just straight away ask questions from me. I leave it to you. Brief. Right. This is how the contents have been rather tabulated in this manner. Right. Now, what are the salient features of this new scheme? We are having a redefined curriculum with 6 papers each at intermediate and final level. Prior to this scheme, you know, we were having 8 papers at intermediate level and 8 papers at the final level, which have been replaced by 6 papers at the intermediate level and 6 papers at the final level, right? Then instead of the 3 years of training, we are having 2 years of uninterrupted practical training. I'll talk about everything. This is just a brief. Then what we have now brought in is the self-paced online modules, which we say is an experiential learning for the students, which is going to be there after you pass both the groups of intermediate and before you appear for your final. So there are going to be 4 self-paced online modules, right? Self-paced modules will be Set A and Set B, which are going to be mandatory. Set A is going to be corporate and economic laws, and Set B is going to be strategic cost and performance management. These 2 modules are going to be compulsory, and the level of knowledge which is going to be expected is expert knowledge, right? Then comes the Set C and Set D. Set C, it's talking about electives. We are having 10 electives in Set C. You know the names of those particular electives. You want me to repeat? You can tell me. I think you must be all knowing about it, right? So you can opt for any one of them. Then comes Set D, which is actually, now you know, NEP has been brought in 2020. What NEP is talking about is multidisciplinary approach. Even though we are chartered accountants, but we are required to know the psychology of our clients, the philosophy of the business. We need to know. We need to know what is our constitution, what is the use of art of advocacy, right? So all these papers, all these subjects have been brought in Set D, which is covering the multidisciplinary approach. So a chartered accountant, you would be chartered accountants, all of you are going to be, say, what I can say is much more well-groomed, more knowledgeable as to what is really happening in the economy and outside India also. So that is what is the approach, the purpose of bringing in Set D, right? Then we are again, we have brought in ethics and technology. Again, it is the core thing which has been taught in NEP 2020. NEP 2020 talks about moral values. They say that moral values cannot be taught in one day. It has to be inculcated when you join the school, when you are in nursery, KG. So the moral values should be inculcated at this time itself, so that it gets inbuilt in you. Keeping in view that part, earlier we were having ethics covered in our auditing and professional ethics at the final level. Now we have introduced ethics in all the papers at the final level. Financial reporting is covering ethics. Then we are having corporate law, again it is having ethics. Auditing paper also is going to have ethics. Then direct tax, again going to have ethics. Indirect tax, again going to have ethics. Plus, what we are also adding is technology. So technology, you know that you are doing the IT training before you commence your articleship, and you also undergo advanced IT before you sit for your final exam. Now the technology is so very important that it has been included in again all the subjects. How technology is going to make the life easy of the chartered accountants, which we have included in the financial reporting paper, auditing paper also. We have brought in digital audit, remote audit. We have talked about all these concepts now, and you know very well that in the direct tax also, now there is the e-commerce has been included, right? Virtual assets are going to be taught. So everything is talking about technology. And so each and every aspect of ethics and technology is being covered in all the papers of final year, right? Then the way we have brought in now a compulsory paper, that is the integrated business solution, which is a multidisciplinary paper. In the earlier scheme, we were having this as in paper 6. It was paper 6F. It was one of the options you could have chosen. But now, keeping in view the demand for this particular paper, and I'm telling you, all the international bodies, be it the ICAI, be it the CIMA, be it the CP Australia, they are having a compulsory paper on this multidisciplinary. This is a standalone paper. What is the use of this paper? Because when 6F was there, very few students used to opt for it. Right? I think students, like the anxiety of the student is to choose a paper which is easy to pass. It's a human psychology. If I also would have been in your place, I'll also opt for a paper which is easy for me to, because you think, let me pass, I'll learn the other things later on. But I'm telling you the way the demand for the chartered accountancy, the expectation of the society, economy is wanting more well-groomed chartered accountants who are very knowledgeable about all aspects. How you can be more knowledgeable about all aspects if we have, the reason this is, we have brought in this integrated business solution paper. This is a multidisciplinary paper covering all the core papers and set A, set B with strategic management. Right? So what is really going to happen is, this is going to be an open book paper. It will be for 4 hours. It will have 5 case studies. You have to do 4 case studies, and it will be inbuilt of the more than 2 to 3 subjects will be covered in each case study. What is the use of this particular paper? You'll ask me. Maybe you will ask your own self, why ICAI is putting this paper on us? Why it is being made compulsory? I'm telling you, now all these papers you will be able to do after you complete your training. You have the time to study, and then you come up with the final exam. You have undergone your practical training. What you have learned in your practical training, you are going to put it into practice when you answer these papers. This is actually going to make you a true business solution provider. Because in this case study, you will be asked about, you will be given a scenario about a company, how it is getting run, and which is having multi-dimensional approach. Like it wants to take certain business decisions. How it can take business decision? Like suppose it wants to have a venture with an entity which is outside India. So what all they need to do, and as a chartered accountant, what are you going to advise to that company? Because now you are not going to be only CFO, you are going to be the CEO of the company. The chartered accountants as of now are the CFOs, and you know now the chartered accountants are going to be CEOs. And this paper is going to be a game changer. So you must really attempt, you must understand the nitty-gritty, how all the subjects are connected, how you have to put into use what you have learned during your practical training. You need to analyze, it's give you that honing your skills of analysis. So that is something which this paper is going to talk about. Then the emerging technologies, what are going to be there, are going to be brought in the IT training and advanced IT training. We are going to bring in 9 now. We are going to bring in this Power BI. We are going to bring in the ERP softwares. We are going to talk about them. We are going to talk about all the latest tools which you will be using when you enter your real life. Then you know very well that 30% MCQs have been introduced in all the papers at the inter and final level. Again, this is going to be going to make a difference because it is again going to test on your analytical skills. Like when I used to study in the school also, once I used to read a chapter, I used to just literally go to the MCQs which were given at the end of the chapter. Because after attempting those questions, I used to rather understand that I have understood the concept or not. And I am telling you, MCQs are one way where you know you have understood the concept. So this is again going to be a game changer, and there is not going to be any negative mark for these MCQs, right? And then a BA, Business Accounting Associate. This is an exit route for the students who for any reason are not able to complete their final. So they can opt for, earlier we had the accounting technician certificate. So now we have brought in BA with, now the prerequisites for BA is that you need to have passed both groups of intermediate, you should have completed your practical training, you should have done advanced ICAI TSS, and you should have also done self-paced online modules. Then you can apply for the BA certificate, right? This is going to actually, our students who are not able to compete for any reason, they are not able to compete, at least it will make them more employable. Because a lot of demand is there in the industry for very good accountants. And this particular set of students can fill that particular gap. Then we also have come up with now specific international curriculum, which we are going to launch very soon in 2 to 3 international bodies. Rather, what we are going to do, we are going to rather introduce it in 2 to 3 countries where the accounting bodies are not there, and those students can opt for this particular course, and they'll be given our qualification. And what they have to do is, the law-based papers will be done of that country, so that those students, once they become chartered accountants, they are useful for their economy as well, right? And you know very well the first exam at the intermediate and final level in the new scheme is going to be in the month of May 2024, and first foundation under the new scheme is going to be in June 24. This November 2023 and December 2023 is going to be the last attempt for inter and final and foundation respectively, right? I think you are aware about these papers, that what are the papers at the foundation level, then at the intermediate level, then the final, then this is the self-paced online modules, then comes the final level papers, and this is our scheme at a glance. And I hope you must be knowing about it. Right? Now I am going to cover some notable points for transition. I think a lot of questions are there in your mind about the transition, the conversion scheme. All the old students, suppose I'll give you an example, a student who is in the final and his or first attempt is in May 24. He or she is already registered, but now the new scheme has been brought in, so that particular student on today's date can convert for the new scheme and can order for the material. Suppose a student who is appearing in this November exam, maybe in the final or inter, and they are not able to by any means, they are not able to clear. What will happen? January, after the result is declared, all such students will be automatically converted to the new scheme. And there is not going to be any conversion fees. And if you convert on today's date also, but on today's date, you will have to apply for conversion. But after the results are declared, you don't have to convert, you will be automatically converted into the new scheme and you don't have to pay any fees. And in case you have ordered for the material under the old scheme, then you will have to pay 1,000 rupees for inter and final. 1,000 for intermediate if you are in intermediate, and if you are in final you have to pay 1,000, right? And you will get the material at your own doorstep.